jealous of Adele. Beyoncé. I do, in my mind, believe that Beyoncé is very controlling regarding her image. Like, very controlling. Beyoncé, what planet do you live on? You can't ban cameras. Everybody's got cell phones with cameras. Respect that. Bow down, B words. You know, a few weeks ago, she was singing at the inauguration. Then she was performing at the Super Bowl. We celebrate. You're on a Pepsi can, for goodness sakes. To tell B words to bow down. And then you're saying girls run the world. Beyoncé feels overshadowed by Adele. And knows that she can't compete. Seems to be Jay-Z being attacked in the elevator by Beyonce's sister Solange. It's leading on all the newscasts. Of course, it's a hot topic here, but it's amazing how the world has let go of everything else important and is talking about this. She is kicking his behind. And the security guard's trying to hold her back. Beyonce's next to Jay-Z in the corner. And I know you've seen this footage before. You know that Beyonce kind of look at him like, scoundrels, what won't you do for that damn career? Listen, this is a disgusting business. That's all I'm gonna say. This business is so disgusting that I can't. I think that Jay-Z and Beyonce are master manipulators of the media. What is that? Is that a baby bump? I don't know. What the couple found most difficult to deal with, says another source, was the fact that some of the rumors were being perpetuated by people they considered friends, like talk show host Wendy Williams. Well, first of all, I've never partied with them. I've never been to their house. I don't swim in their...
They really thought Wendy was done. They figured once she stepped away from daytime TV, the tea would dry up and the headlines would move on. But what if the most outspoken voice in gossip didn't just fade out? What if she was pushed to the side for a reason? And what if she's been holding receipts on Beyoncé this whole time? Now old clips are popping back up, blind items are matching up, and former insiders are suddenly finding their voices. Wendy's old warnings? They're not sounding wild anymore. This is getting messy real quick, and it's coming in hot. Wendy is back in the mix, and she's not letting up on Beyoncé at all. The spotlight isn't just on Jay-Z anymore.
Jay-Z and Harvey Weinstein were just named in the files. What the hell is going on?
For a rap party at 11 o'clock at night, drinking, loud music, and us dancing wild, like, I don't know where these kids came from. And then I happened to sit down because I was dancing with one of the assistants. And I sat next to this child, and the child sat next to Beyonce. So I hear B say something about, doesn't this look sexy, or isn't this sexy? And in my mind, and mind you, I'm not awakened as I'm awakened now. So in my mind, I'm like, what did she just say? And then I didn't pay no attention to it. And then, you know, obviously the liquor took hold of me and I had to leave. So I said bye to everybody and left. But those kids remained. I don't know if those kids were from the photo shoot themselves, but the fact that these kids came around adults during drinking hours or partying hours was already alarming to me. So when I hear something like this happens, I can't really discount it and say, oh, he could never do this. Because I'm hearing stories, I'm seeing it with my own eyes, and I've been in situations where something don't sound or look right, and it's usually involving...
Now you kind of look at him like, scoundrels, what won't you do for that damn career? Listen, this is a disgusting business. That's all I'm gonna say. This business is so disgusting that I can't. I think that Jay-Z and Beyonce are master manipulators of the media. What is that? Is that a baby bump? I don't know. What the couple found most difficult to deal with, says another source, was the fact that some of the rumors were being perpetuated by people they considered friends, like talk show host Wendy Williams. Well, first of all, I've never partied with them. I've never been to their house. I don't swim in their pool. Like, we're not friends. The stunt left Beyonce angered beyond belief. That means she watches. Fortunately, one of the TVs in our kitchen has closed captioning, so I'll be able to understand what she says. She, you know, Beyonce can't talk. Beyonce sounds like she's got a 5th grade education. She can't talk.
Go detail. What do you predict will happen next in the future?
What the hell would Jay-Z be doing with Harvey Weinstein and Attorney General William Barr in 1996? That was the year his first album came out. Do you really think Pusha T in 2007 was hanging around Harvey Weinstein and was one of the victim's handlers? In the Eminem story, the woman describes how she weighs 300 pounds. This is her words, not mine. She says this in the report. She weighs 300 pounds, so a video of her would be easy to find. And in the Eminem story, she said when she woke up, she saw someone recording with a phone, and she thinks it was Diddy. Okay? These are public hotline submissions. The tips itself don't...
When the E-Files started making rounds online, people noticed his name wasn't the only one raising eyebrows. Beyoncé's name was reportedly mentioned too, and that's when the internet went into full meltdown mode. At first, most of the heat was aimed at Jay-Z. There were reports that an anonymous caller reached out to the FBI hotline claiming she once woke up in a room with Jay-Z and Harvey Weinstein.
Have been a fake baby bump, visually collapsed as she sat down. I admit, that did look weird, but maybe it was a weird camera angle. Or maybe she wears extra padding to keep her due date a secret.
Because of the way that Beyoncé's belly folded when she sat down, many believe that there was no way that that was a real baby bump. There was so much speculation about this situation that even Wendy Williams did an experiment with her audience to see if other pregnant women's bellies folded like that when they sat down.
Beyoncé recently, like last Sunday, appeared on an Australian show. And when she sat down, the baby bump squashed, bent, and crumpled.
The reason that I bring this up though is because if Beyoncé and Jay-Z were having a baby via a surrogate, it would be a little odd to announce that they were physically with
Drake and you told him to no longer respond to Pusha T.
I saw this going in a place that I feel would have ended his career if Drake would have put out the song that he had on him, and definitely would have hurt families, and you know what I mean, and we not in it for that. You know what I mean? That's not Drake character.
It's time for somebody to be honest about who gave Aaliyah the pills that knocked her out before she was carried onto a plane she didn't want to be on. It's time for the other dancers who knew she was terrified to get on that plane to say more about you than you think I do. It's time for us to stop with the truth. It is time for Aaliyah Dana Haughton's to be properly investigated.
That allegation has not been proven, but the internet ran with it fast. She claimed that Weinstein was touching her inappropriately while she was unconscious, and that Jay-Z was in the room at the time. She also alleged that Pusha T acted like some kind of handler during the situation. Those accusations alone had the internet in a frenzy, with people talking non-stop. Now, let's be real. Some people weren't even shocked seeing Jay-Z's name caught up in controversy. He's been connected to powerful industry figures for years. But the moment Beyoncé's name started showing up next to his, that's when the noise got louder.
Able to go and get all of these witnesses because he was there with Robert Kelly. How does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly? This is insane that people keep refusing to see what's right there. If the Me Too movement were real, why aren't they speaking now? They've also been very quiet in this time of the diddler's downfall.
Well, Jack, you were right. Unexpectedly made several serious allegations about Jay-Z and Beyoncé during that interview. As I said in the moment, they were not present to respond or defend themselves, but now they have. Their lawyers contacted us to say that those claims were totally false and have no basis in fact, and we've therefore complied with the legal request to cut them from the original interview. Editing interviews is not something we do lightly at a show called Uncensored. But, like the proverbial cries of fire in a crowded theatre, there are legal limits on us too. And we apologise to Jay-Z and Beyonce.
I actually met Beyonce before. That was one of the people be like, who you met? You know what I'm saying? Like it threw you out, like it took you back. Like, you know what I'm saying? Beyonce, I was at a party at Diddy crib in LA. This was the beginning of 2020. You know what I mean? Diddy had put everybody else out the crib, like the influx of people he had put them out. But he had took a liking to me in particular around the time, man. It was really, you know what I mean, like putting his arm around me.
Right.
So he had put majority of the people out, but he allowed me to stay in there. Me and, you know, maybe about 15 others, you know. Right. Jay-Z and Beyonce being, you know, two of the other 15 people in the room. So that'll just put it into perspective of the type of company I was in at the moment, you know. And she came over and introduced herself to me like as if she had to. Beyonce, cut it out. But I'm a big fan of your work, you know what I'm saying? Whoop the whoop, and that was just dope. That was dope as hell to me, man.
Way louder. Folks started asking if she knew more than she ever admitted. Then reports said the DOJ released another list of individuals allegedly connected to the E-Files, and Beyoncé's name appeared again. That was enough to send people digging through old rumors and past scandals like detectives on a mission, and that's exactly where Wendy slides back into the spotlight. Years before these new headlines, Wendy had already questioned Beyoncé publicly in 2011. She stirred serious backlash by suggesting Beyoncé's pregnancy might not have been what it seemed at the time. Mainstream media stayed quiet, but Wendy, she said it out loud and let it fly. She said it out loud, and now with these fresh accusations swirling, people are digging up even darker claims. One of the biggest stories floating around involves Kathy White, a woman rumored to have been close to Jay-Z and allegedly pregnant at one point.
To tell you it's not your fault. I don't know if anybody's ever told you that. What happened to Kathy is not your fault. It's not.
You're gonna make me cry. I have felt the guilty.
No, I'm telling you. It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
If I had any idea,
You were doing your job.
For the purpose of ticket sales and money, which is not right. But anyway, Beyonce's pregnancy is a way of keeping Jay-Z's alleged mistress away. Beyonce has been accused of copying before. This is not the first time. Remember the Countdown music video? She was accused of stealing that also. The Single Ladies Dance, she was accusing that. And one of her Lemonade music videos, she's been accused of stealing also. Beyonce, I hope you're not lying. All right, let's move on.
The one that claims Jay-Z allegedly cheated on Beyonce with Kathy Coriana White. Now, Coriana, I'm not going to read this because I knew Coriana. I've met Coriana many times, and I've been around her because I met her through Claudia Jordan. Claudia recently has spoken out about it. Well, there was this whole allegation that Jay-Z had this relationship with Coriana, and Coriana was literally young, vibrant. She appeared to be healthy, and then one day she just, and it became a big thing because when you know somebody who's young and vibrant, all of a sudden out of nowhere, just people start to speculate. Well, she at the age of 28 in 2011 of an aneurysm. Well, for years, Jaguar Wright has claimed that Kathy was Jay-Z's pregnant mistress who mysteriously 24 hours after allegedly claiming to tell the world of their secret child. Now, I can tell you firsthand, I don't know anything about that. And Jaguar Wright may or may not know stuff. It seems like Jaguar Wright knows everything. But it also goes back to, like, if people knew of things, why they don't call the police or have people arrested.
Online theories claim Kathy may have acted as a surrogate while Beyoncé publicly announced she was expecting Blue Ivy. The rumor doesn't stop there. Some say after the baby was born, Kathy was quietly pushed out of the picture, and Blue Ivy was presented as Beyoncé's biological child. There is no verified proof of any of this, but that hasn't stopped social media from running with it full speed. Those same theories flared up again when Beyoncé dropped her 2024 song, Daughter. A few listeners swore the lyrics sounded like a symbolic confession tied to Kathy White's passing. That interpretation has not been confirmed, but online detectives started connecting dots that may not even be related.
I also was just recently contacted by someone who wanted me to essentially represent them in the sale of one of the Diddy tapes.
You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is
yes,
new.
there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of, and to contact the person who was in the video to see if they were interested in purchasing the video before it became a public knowledge.
I've heard this before, so like a catch and
correct.
Wow, can you, and I guess you can't reveal the person who is on
No,
this
I can't
tape.
explain who the person was, but Mr.
High profile?
Mr. Combs was in the tape, and this other person is, I would venture to say, more high profile than Mr. Combs.
Real?
Wait, wasn't this all around the time when Aaliyah
Yeah.
and Beyonce's solo career was struggling? Jam on your horn now, that shit ass record. From the Austin Powers shit, it was some of the worst shit. They were having a hard time taking her solo. And then Aaliyah. And then they brought Rich Harrison in, and you know, got me thinking some crazy right now.
She likes his Cowboy Carter album. I love that one. It's potentially a murder confession about Jay-Z's mistress.
Show him the tape, Diddy, you got it.
Oh, man,
That might buy you a little time. We should probably stop looking for plastic surgeons.
That's why this moment feels bigger than a simple headline. It's not just about a name and documents. It's about years of rumors, blind items, old interviews, and quiet whispers getting dragged back into the light. And Wendy's past comments, they're not looking so random anymore. Now the story gets layered. Long before these E-File talks, Wendy had already side-eyed Beyoncé. Back in 2011, during a pregnancy interview, viewers noticed her baby bump appeared to fold inward while she was sitting down, and that clip sparked non-stop debate. That clip blew up instantly. People replayed it again and again, zooming in, slowing it down, breaking it apart frame by frame, trying to figure out what they just watched. Even though millions had already seen it live, the debate would not die.
when Jay signed his contract, the big one was with Beyonce. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Now those trophies, the trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man. I mean, look, if you look at his career,
This guy. You're gonna let him say that? Jay was getting Grammys.
He had one.
Exactly.
He had one.
And he ain't show up.
He had like 20 now. He had like 18 since he's been down. Look, he had one, bro. Hard Knock Life.
You're not wrong.
He was one. After that, he got them shits. He started drinking. His pictures with him like things to cop.
Detail. What do you predict will happen next in the future? You know, it's like you see it before it happens.
Kathy White's true is going to be and it's not a man. And that woman is screaming.
Relationship was a business relationship, financial, to get to the top, to become billionaires. There's no love there. See, what's done in the dark will definitely come in the light. Keep your threats up.
Go detail. What do you predict will happen next in the future? You know, it's like you see it before it happens.
Kathy White's true is going to be and it's not a man. And that woman is screaming.
Her team moved fast and dropped bikini photos to show the pregnancy was real. But for a lot of viewers, those pictures didn't settle anything. Some critics even said it just looked like someone after a big holiday meal. The internet stayed skeptical, and Wendy? She was not backing down at all. The very next day, Wendy went on her show and straight up questioned the pregnancy. And she didn't tiptoe around it either. She even brought up K.A. White, which was bold for that time. Mainstream outlets would not touch that subject. It was the kind of rumor that lived in blogs and quiet group chats. Either you knew about it or you didn't.
Witching Beyonce. The Queen Bee practiced witchcraft on one of her musicians. In this Daily Mail TV exclusive, the drummer who claimed she was put under Beyonce's spell is now speaking out.
The fact that people keep saying I'm crazy, hell, the situations I had to deal with and survive are crazy.
The stuff that they say about Aaliyah, like what would I do if I find out that somebody actually intentionally did that? I really don't know. Homie might. You know, he was salty a little bit because he was trying to get at Aaliyah and I was trying to get at her. And I know that there are people that benefited from her. Yo, that's the most illest gangster. Some Pablo Escobar, you could actually get a plane to crash. You know, I hear a lot of rumors about me, like I sacrificed her and some dumb like that. If any of that is true, I'd have to talk to a therapist.
The record with him, with Jay, that's why I was that was almost like one of the things where I was just like, he's out of here, Jake. I just let it go because I couldn't believe he did a project with her, with R. Kelly, knowing that my girl.
They're already living separate lives, and we may actually see one of the biggest divorces in Hollywood is because Jay-Z is up next to be exposed. And it's only so much of these stories that Jay-Z can, he can pay off or he can block. He won't be able to stop this. And she knows it, and he knows it too.
Wendy basically implied the pregnancy could have been a cover story. She suggested that a surrogate might have carried the baby while the public was told Beyonce did it herself. She also pointed out that only a small circle was reportedly allowed in the delivery room, which just added more questions. On top of that, there were reports claiming over $1 million was spent to lock down an entire hospital floor for the birth. That kind of privacy had people raising eyebrows fast. Why that much security? What needed to be kept so quiet? Those questions started stacking up quick. Then Jay-Z's former close friend Larry Johnson added another layer to the drama. They used to be tight, but their friendship reportedly fell apart after Larry began speaking out about alleged power structures in the industry. He claimed that in the early 2000s he attended a late-night Rockefeller party in Colorado hosted by the Carters. What he described about that night made some listeners uncomfortable, especially the way he talked about who was there and how the energy felt off. None of those claims have been proven, but they definitely got attention. That's when the conversation shifted. It stopped being just about pregnancy rumors and started turning into bigger questions about the circles they were allegedly connected to. Then Jaguar Wright stepped in, and the volume went all the way up. Her appearance on Piers Morgan's show nearly landed her in legal trouble because she spoke very boldly about Jay-Z and Beyoncé. And while all this noise was building, people also started revisiting the long-discussed rumors surrounding Aaliyah, adding even more layers to the situation. For years, people have whispered that Aaliyah's passing somehow cleared the runway for Beyoncé's rise. Some even claim Jay-Z first showed interest in Aaliyah and only shifted his focus to Beyoncé after she wasn't feeling him like that. None of this has been proven, but the talk has never fully faded. The tragic plane crash that took Aaliyah's life has fueled even more speculation. There have been reports over the years claiming she didn't want to board that flight and may have been given something to calm her down before getting on the plane. Authorities ruled it an accident, but online chatter keeps spinning new angles. Dame Dash spoke on it years ago too. He said after Aaliyah's situation with R. Kelly, Jay-Z was allegedly trying to pursue her romantically. According to Dame, there was tension and competition in the air. He claimed Jay-Z sent flowers and party invites, but Aaliyah wasn't interested. And then the rumors go even darker. Some online voices have tried to link Beyoncé to exclusive behind-the-scenes gatherings, but there is no verified proof of those claims. There were also rumors claiming that powerful industry figures, including the financier connected to the E-Files and Diddy, were accused of organizing exclusive gatherings behind closed doors. The speculation says Beyoncé and Jay-Z allegedly attended some of these events to protect their status and influence in elite circles. None of these claims have been proven, but the gossip spread fast and loud. After one interview, Deba went on Club Shay Shay and talked about being at a private event at Diddy's home in early 2020. He said most guests were eventually asked to leave, but a tight inner circle of about 15 people stayed behind. He specifically named Jay-Z and Beyoncé as part of that smaller group. Deba also claimed Diddy seemed to single him out that night, keeping him close while others were dismissed. According to Deba, Beyoncé approached him directly and introduced herself in a friendly way, even though she didn't have to. He explained that just being in that room showed him the level of influence and power surrounding her. But it didn't stop there. Soon after that interview, attorney Ariel Mitchell revealed someone contacted her about possibly representing them in the sale of a tape allegedly involving Diddy, and that added even more noise to the situation. She turned the offer down but confirmed that the tapes were allegedly being quietly shopped around Hollywood. She explained that someone had a video and wanted to contact the person featured in it to see if they would purchase it before it ever went public. It sounded like a hush before it explodes type of move. When asked if she could reveal who else was on the tape, she refused to drop any names. She did confirm that Diddy was in the footage and claimed the other individual was even more high profile than him. She said she viewed still images from the video and that the second person's identity was clearly visible. Those are serious claims, and none of it has been proven in court. She also stated the footage appeared to have been recorded inside Diddy's Atlanta home. According to her, it didn't look like the other person knew they were being filmed, hinting at hidden cameras. She never mentioned Beyoncé at all. But because her interview came right after Deba's story, the internet started building its own theories fast. Whether those connections were real or just online imagination, more chatter surfaced about another late-night gathering at Diddy's house. Reports claim the party stretched into the early morning around 3 a.m., with most guests sent home and only a tight inner circle still inside. And yes, Beyoncé and Jay-Z were allegedly among the small group still inside. That one detail alone had people side-eyeing the whole situation. Then the rumors shifted into a whole new lane. Once the E-File started trending, whispers popped up claiming Beyoncé might already be bracing for something much bigger. A blind item even suggested someone close to her had been talking behind closed doors. According to that blind item, insiders had supposedly been whispering for a while that she had threatened to leave the country more than once. The claim painted her as exhausted from pressure, from constant control, and from alleged handlers making key decisions. It even went as far as saying her team feared she could disappear without warning, not because she was unstable, but because they were scared of losing the person who keeps the whole machine running. The same blind item described someone who felt boxed in. It claimed she was tired of outside influence, tired of her husband's shadow, and even drained by family expectations. The story suggested she was on the edge of breaking free from everything that had shaped her image for years. And here's where it turns even more dramatic. That post implied she might be quietly planning an exit because she allegedly understands what can happen to powerful figures who try to step away from certain elite circles. It hinted she had seen what happened to someone she once admired and did not want a similar fate. It suggested that if she ever suddenly canceled appearances, went quiet, or started spending long stretches overseas, it wouldn't be random at all. It would be strategic. That idea alone had people watching every move twice. Then Storm Monroe stepped in and turned the volume up even more. He shared his opinion that if major revelations ever surface about Jay-Z, Hollywood could be looking at one of the biggest divorces ever. He even suggested they might already be living separate lives behind the scenes. According to him, there's only so much damage control, influence, and money can smooth over before something cracks. Storm claimed that if something truly explosive came out, Beyoncé would distance herself publicly and fast. He predicted the world would eventually get a polished statement saying they had been separated for some time, built a beautiful life together, and were now moving forward independently, clean, controlled, and carefully worded. He also made a practical point. Before any official split, there could easily be another album, another tour, another massive project lined up. From that perspective, business always comes first. Feelings might get messy, but legacy and money stay part of the strategy. And that's why people are watching every move closely. It's not just the headlines, it's the timing that has everyone reading between the lines. Then you've got former employees stepping forward with their own claims, saying she holds serious power behind the scenes and carries way more influence than the public ever sees. One former associate described a situation they said had been unfolding since 2006. According to them, things allegedly grew more intense over time. They admitted they once admired her, praised her publicly, and showed full support. But behind closed doors, they claimed they started feeling manipulated. That person accused her of interfering with work opportunities, relationships, and even parts of their personal life. They described it as a pattern of control they didn't fully recognize until much later. Now, whether those accusations are credible or not is a separate debate. None of it has been proven, but the claims added more weight to the growing pile of online allegations. And through all of this noise, Wendy Williams' name keeps circling back into the conversation again and again. For years, people have said Wendy had insiders feeding her real information back when she was running radio and daytime TV. Some believe she knew details about Diddy, about Beyoncé, about the financier linked to the E-file, and other industry secrets long before the public caught on. The theory says she had solid sources, maybe even proof, but held back because the industry can move heavy when it wants someone quiet. That's why some viewers connect the dots when they look at what later happened to Wendy. From her health struggles to claims she was wrongly labeled with dementia, critics started asking tough questions. Was it all coincidence, or was something deeper going on? Public opinion is split right down the middle. Some argue Beyoncé is just as responsible as Jay-Z and knew exactly what was happening around her. Others say she shouldn't be framed as powerless if she was actively involved in major decisions. And then there's another group saying this is all speculation stacked on rumors with no hard proof. At the end of the day, one big question hangs in the air. Was Wendy exposing real industry secrets, or was she stirring the pot for ratings? Is Beyoncé fully aware of everything around her, or simply protecting herself the only way she knows how? If more receipts drop, will public opinion flip? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.